HiPipo is pleased to present 40 Days 40 FinTechs, an initiative under its Include Everyone program, as it continues to lead the way in advocacy for the creation and dissemination of technology that enables financial inclusivity. The 40 Days 40 FinTechs is shining a spotlight on those that are breaking down digital barriers and bringing millions more on the continent into the transactional space and transforming their lives for the better.
Nugsoft is an IT solutions provider. We have a number of products. We do custom software development. And one of the softwares that are of our own is School Monitor. It does school management, where we do school fees and academics. And then we have MfukoPlus. MfukoPlus is a product that does credit advisory and records management all on a single platform. Basically what that means is we deal with SACCOs, microfinance institutions, and other credit-giving institutions to deliver services that is work and efficiency in these areas. What happens is all these SACCOs have members, and when we looked at how these SACCOs were operating, we noticed that there is a big gap in one, how they manage the records, and two, when they issue out these loans and the financial products, how are they used? So there was a big gap in there, and we introduced the element of credit advisory, financial advisory. Basically, one of the biggest problems in the market right now is unpaid loans, non-performing loans, and that is a result of people taking loans that they do not service because of the lack of financial literacy. So we introduced the element of credit advisory to supplement the records management that we already do so well on the platform. We serve SACCOs, microfinance institutions, money lenders, both individual and company, and then we do credit advisory for all their members. There's a members portal, and we've recently zero-rated the service, meaning any of our clients and their subscribers can access the service without the need to load internet. All they have to do is have an active connection, and the numbers that they have, if we've already listed them with our service provider, then they'll access all these services without loading data. MfukoPlus, I think I should give you a brief background. It's a 3-year-old product, but within the 3 years, there's been 2 years of COVID. And that simply means when we were kicking off, when we were taking off and extending to reach every single potential client, COVID came in. That means we couldn't move, we couldn't do anything, and our progress was hampered for about 2 years. Since COVID fortunately left, we've been able to enroll about 24 SACCOs and about 50 plus, actually over 50 microfinance institutions. Very many other credit-giving institutions are on board, and as I speak now, the team is also in field enrolling 2 more users. And with these SACCOs and microfinance institutions, their membership volume is, I think, 12,000 right now in total. And all these years in operation, we've been able to transact over 25 billion on the platform. And at the moment, we hold about 8-point-something billion worth of savings for all these SACCOs and institutions. And the advantage that comes with this at the moment is that most SACCOs want to test this product because they see the impact it's having in the SACCOs that are already on the platform. When you look at the nature of the service, it's more of a SACCO-driven service. And that means we are quite hampered in what we can do in cutting out targets to support. However, we've gone ahead and supported rural communities. For example, women's savings groups and youth savings groups in rural areas do not have to pay a penny. They just send us their contacts. We send them to our service provider, and they're added to the service. They do not have to pay any single cent. And recently, with our involvement with the number of aggregators, we've been able to extend USSD functionality where they can also access this service, and we subsidize women and youth groups on the cost of the SMSs involved. The nature of MfukoPlus is that 1, we are a credit advisory service, and 2, we are a records management service. And that simply means we touch so much money. We touch a lot of people's money. And with a lot of money comes responsibility. That kind of responsibility is what we've been able to share with our aggregators. We make sure that the aggregators we get on board, 1, support same-day settlements. They support real-time transactions. I shouldn't have to request a loan, it is approved, and the system disburses the money, but I cannot see it on my phone in the next 2 minutes. I should have that. So along with the SMS that comes showing you the successful transaction, comes the message showing you the money. Beyond that, we also do we have a standard pricing model, and we share all the costs at the start. There are no hidden charges. What we tell you we shall charge you when we are enrolling you is what you will be charged. There is no scenario of introducing a cost along the way. And I think that is one of the things that have kept us a darling among many of our clients. I think in the fintech sector, we need to mostly appreciate the opportunities. If I look at where we were a few years ago and where we are now, there's been great progress, and I want to appreciate every player in the industry for what they've been able to do. There is so many applications in here right now in our very own market that do things that previously were done by by services that would source from abroad, and that is a big thing, I think. One of the opportunities in here in the sector is that there's been a great uptake of ICT generally in the country, and that presents a bigger market for us players in the fintech sector. Then besides that, one of the other opportunities is that the adoption of financial solutions, even in the village, even in at the rural level, it has grown. It's easy to find a villager right now, someone in, I wouldn't say villager, but someone in a rural area like Kakuto will be able to just dial a short code and do a transaction, something that was not common way back. And I think that's a great opportunity. One of the other opportunities is that there's been a sense of an ecosystem between the financial players. You'll see us coming together with aggregators and banks and many other players to come and deliver a solution that, regardless of what we are doing, impacts the person using the service at a rural level. And then about the challenges, one of the key challenges in this market is the legislation. You realize that fintechs face deeper legislation than any other player in the financial sector. One of the other challenges is the cost. I'm talking about aggregators. You probably have heard about them, but you probably didn't know that an aggregator, to have a transaction go through on my platform, could charge me between 400 to 800 shillings. And as I told you earlier, this is a cost that I'm partly footing on behalf of my customer in the rural area. And that simply means it is hard for me to transact. So the cost of doing business is a bit hard. And then the other challenge is funding. As you've seen, there are so many players in this sector, and they want to deliver very specific solutions, very strictly tailored solutions to a person in need. And these people really deserve these products. However, the funds to support the drive to deliver this product to the final user is a big challenge, and funding is something that needs to be looked into in the future, specifically funding for the financial sector, fintechs. I want to appreciate the 40 Days 40 Fintechs initiative. For one, the exposure and the visibility it provides different fintechs. There has been so much achieved by my peers that were part of the program earlier. I think one of my peers was in the first round, and they've been able to, one, grow their numbers in terms of subscriber volumes, and two, they've been able to secure funding here and there. That is something that would never happen without the visibility that the 40 Days 40 Fintechs initiative extended them. But far beyond that, the 40 Days 40 Fintechs initiative comes with this power of bringing fintechs closer to each other. There are so many players in the sector that I did not know about. But since the 40 Days 40 Fintechs challenge came in play, I've been able to actually source for services from some of them. This is because they were, we came into the same space, we were brought into the same room, same environment, and we've been able to share ideas, opportunities, and challenges on how we can drive this market forward. That is something I want to credit this initiative for. As I mentioned earlier, there is a challenge of funding in the market. And I would really implore you to, in your future rounds, look at the element of probably supporting some of the fintechs that go through the program. If you can probably secure any amount of funding, any level of funding, could be a kind, it could be an in-kind service or something, but something that helps a fintech that has been through this program, anything that helps them deliver their services better to the market, that would be deeply appreciated. For anyone that wants to use MfukoPlus, I know there are many out there, you just log on to www.mfuko.net and scroll through, look at the services and the different offerings, and then there is a tab for request a demo, or you could simply call us on the numbers listed on that website.
40 Days 40 FinTechs is presented in proud partnership with Nugsoft Technologies, Modus Box, Moduloop Foundation, and Level 1 Projects.